Hi everybody, welcome back to the Moose. Now, in this series of lessons, I'm going to be talking about a very, very important technique used on the banjo called vamping. And vamping is going to be used in the backup in your playing. Now, vamping, as far as I know, was created by Bill Monroe with his mandolin in the bluegrass context, where he would be playing things that were opposing the bass and the other instruments around him, especially in this 4/4 time. So what I mean by opposing is, I'll just take an example, and I'm just going to clap my hands, okay? I'm going to clap. And you can clap along with me now. And we're using this 4/4 time now, clapping. So you and I are clapping together. All right. Now, this sounds really good, clapping together. But the concept that Bill Monroe had was this. So we're clapping together. Okay? And when I was tapping my hand to the head of the banjo, that was the opposition that he created. Okay? And that opposition causes contrast within a group of musicians, okay? Instead of everybody playing the same exact thing, just like the bass, again, is playing on the downbeats of 1 and 3, and the guitar maybe will playing the rhythm 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, Mr. Monroe, what he did was he took that vamp and was vamping the strings on the offbeats of 2 and 4 to create that contrast. And when you get a contrast with all the different instruments going, it really creates some very cool sounds, again, throughout that context. Now, vamping on the banjo is a combination of rhythm and percussion. If we look at the banjo is basically a drum with a neck and strings attached to it. Okay, so again, we're going to create this percussion, and I know that the things that we can do mixing rhythm and percussion on the banjo have barely been touched upon, I think, to the evolution of the 5-string banjo to this day. And we're going to get into exploring many different things combining rhythm and percussion later on. But right now, we're going to explore 3 basic ways to vamp on the banjo. Okay. 3 different basic ways to vamp on the banjo. And before I start, I'd just like to say that all of your playing on the banjo and most any other instrument really comes down to rhythm and timing. Everything you do on the banjo, whether it's soloing or backing up other musicians, comes down to that basic rhythm and timing, whether you're soloing or backing up other musicians. And I can't stress this enough about, again, the basics of the rhythm and the timing. So before we get started with the vamp and those 3 basic techniques, I'd like to talk about the X and Y positions on the banjo. Now, you might have heard the X and Y positions before, maybe, but what that means is when we place our hands in this standard spot on the banjo's head, okay, next to the bridge, remember our basic hand position, and we can play just 3-string pinch, okay. Now listen to how that sounds when my hand is down here close to the bridge. Okay, now I'm going to use the same force, but move my hand, slide my hand up closer to the neck. Now listen to the way this sounds. It has a slightly different tone. As my hand slides up towards the neck, I'm getting a mellower tone out of the strings, okay? Again. And you can hear that the difference in tone just by sliding our hand up and down. And you can look on my banjo head. You can see where I slide up and down a lot to get those different tones that's going to come out by switching your hand positions, okay? And it's important as well when we start this vamping I like to vamp with my hand position up closer to the neck, again, to get that different tone or that mellower sound. And we're going to continue to explore all these different techniques and vamping, the basic techniques here coming up in this little series I'm going to put on. So thanks for joining me, everybody, and we'll see you next time right here on the Music Moose.